Hello, friends. The show today is about the protection offered women in Igbo culture, which incidentally has begun to receive direct mention until an American, in fact, the American who noted that democracy did not start in Greece but in Igbo land, noted that women were offered protection, special protection. I believe that the first place such had been mentioned was in my The Igbos and Israel and Intercultural Study of the Largest Jewish or Israelite Diaspora, which you can find on Amazon, where I talked about the powers Igbo women possess to override and overrule Igbo men in matters of family. Before then, to really know this, you had to look for it because while it is scattered in so many texts, it was not explicitly set out in one book. But running side by side with this special protection is also special protection afforded to men. I will explain. I'll use this issue of divorce to make my point. Omenana, Igbo culture, Igbo religion takes away the power to dissolve a marriage from the man and vests the power expressly on the woman. The only condition on which an Igbo man can make a case for divorce against his wife and have her divorced. By the way, no single man can divorce his wife in the Igbo society if we are following Omenana. Just as marriage itself is a family affair, divorce is also a family affair. So the only case you could raise against a woman and she could be divorced is if you can prove adultery, if you can provide impeccable evidence that she had sexual intercourse with another man. And gentlemen and ladies, you know that by the time a woman makes up her mind to lie down with a man that is not her husband, it is clear that the woman does not want to have anything to do with her husband again. But if you summon your kinsmen and summon the kinsmen of your wife and say that you want to divorce your wife, and you asked why you want your wife to leave, and you say she's wicked, she's quarrelsome, you make all sorts of cases. You raise all sorts of allegations, but you do not say that she is involved in extramarital affairs, extramarital sexual affairs. Her family and your family would put heads together, and what they will say is that you are not serious yet. Because these matters you raised according to Igbo thoughts could be resolved, and there is a solution. In a tete-a-tete this afternoon with our lawyer, our own very barrister Emeka Maduewesi, we discussed this afternoon. You will be told to toe the part of, you know that part? She will not be asked to leave. she will never be asked to leave because she had not undertaken or trod that path that could lead to dissolution. If she was just quarrelsome, her kinsmen will put their foot down that she should stop quarreling with you. But she will not be asked to leave the house because she quarrels with you. And this applies to every other case you could raise, short of adultery. But if the Igbo woman becomes dissatisfied with the marriage, raises it before her own people, she's free to go. She is free to go. In other words, the society took the power to dissolve marriage away from the men and vested it in the women. You will recall that I said that I will talk about how the society protected women and also talk about the parallel, how the society protected men. So why did this culture take away this power from men? Omenala lays great stock on keeping Igbos away from sin. And Omenala knows, because Omenala rather knows, that power corrupts. We don't want to admit today something that is very, very obvious. Men and women are not identical. They are different versions of one species. I won't use the word that offends people. I won't say that women are the weaker sex. I would say that women are the different sex. And they are a version of this species that the society feels that the men have to be restrained from putting them at a disadvantage. Because Omenala recognizes that power is sweet, people abuse power, but Omenala also realizes that if Igbo men, if the sting, if that power available to Igbo men is not reduced, Igbo men will destroy themselves. Because at the end of the day, you exercise power for maximum of 100 years. Your body grows old, it gradually disintegrates. At the end of the day, you are put under the ground. So all the people that you killed, all the lands that you grabbed, all the women you snatched from their husbands, all the people you cheated and took their property away, what did you gain? You destroyed your soul. Definitely, you will reincarnate and reap your reward. The ancestors of the Igbos understood the paranormal. Just this afternoon, I remembered a story I had as a child. The man that told this story was my father's contemporary. There will be 1 or 2 years difference between their ages. He told a story that came out of the 1940s or 1950s Igbo land. By the way, if my beloved father is to be alive today, he would be 102 years. So, this man told a story that gives us an idea of two things. The older Igbo knew much more about life than the contemporary Igbo. And then we would only be foolish and stupid if we want to accept only things that science can prove. Okeke told us a story about an Igbo man named Lawrence. I have never forgotten this name, even though I had this story when I was barely in my teens. Lawrence was living in Port Harcourt. I don't recall exactly what happened to Lawrence, but my childhood memory suggests that Lawrence may have passed on through a motor accident. And Okeke was delegated alongside with one other person to take the body home. According to Okeke, shortly after their vehicle had crossed Elele, remember this was in pre-colonial Nigeria, the British wouldn't have allowed rickety vehicles to be roadworthy vehicles to be on the roads, so this must have been a roadworthy vehicle. After they had passed Elele, one of the suburbs of Port Harcourt, the vehicle broke down without any good reason. The people bearing the body home, the people taking the body home, summoned a mechanic who took a very good look at the vehicle and said that the vehicle was sound. Meanwhile, the body was removed. The casket was removed and placed on the ground so that the mechanic would take a very good look at it. After the mechanic had ascertained, had indicated, had said that the vehicle was in very good shape, the vehicle started. When the body was put back in the vehicle so that the journey would resume, the vehicle refused to start. The ignition did not work. They took the body down. The vehicle started. The ignition worked. They put the body back in the vehicle. The vehicle went blank 5 times. Okeke said he shook his head, looked around, saw a shop where, among other things, alcoholic beverage was sold. He bought a bottle, prayed to Chukwu, prayed to the ancestors, and spoke directly to Lawrence. He told Lawrence, if you do not want to be taken home, if you do not want to be taken home so that you will rejoin your ancestors at home, Okeke said he threatened Lawrence that he will bring down the corpse, burn it to ashes in Elele. He ended the prayer with this warning. The body was put back in the vehicle, and they did not stop until they entered the compound of Lawrence. Science cannot talk about this. By the way, I'm a scholar of religions. The methodologies for studying these natural sciences are not the methodologies we use to study religion. We study them differently. Just like we cannot use the methodology for studying Omenana to study Christianity. And we cannot be comparing them because they are worlds apart. So, what am I saying? The ancestors of the Igbos who passed on Omenana to us received a religion that protected women and also protected men by taking away the power to do evil, largely taking it away from men, because ultimately, if you do evil, the Igbos knew that you will reap a lot of pain. And on this note, I say have a good week. But as you are having a very good week, remember to hit the subscribe button. Subscribe to this channel. As I have said repeatedly, I made a commitment. We have very good stories. Stories that will elevate, enrich, empower. But these stories have not been told by us. These stories have largely been suppressed. Rather, what has been told are lies, naked lies about us. It's time for us to take back the narrative, to tell our story ourselves, and I'm assuring you that on this YouTube channel, you will always get it hot, fresh, and truthful. Thank you. Udo. Shalom.